People ask, have you ever gone back to Vietnam? And I tell them every day. There is no way that anybody could understand what we went through, what we did. No matter how much you could explain to them, it's a waste of time.
We went to a reunion, and they had a little pamphlet, and it had 30 questions on it. And I answered 27 of them. And I went, yeah, I might have a problem. Maybe I need to go see somebody. I started to go see a psychiatrist for PTSD. And he says, you know, you got a bigger problem than that. I said, what's that? He says, survivor's guilt. Because you had a team shot up before you left. And I said, yeah. I said, I wonder about it all the time, every day. And he said, you need to get over it.
But that's why I wrote the books. I felt I had to get this off my chest. It was cathartic for me. It helped me with my PTSD. I had PTSD. I didn't go into it with PTSD. It affected my family. It was rough on my wife. She was a nurse, which would probably help to put up with me. I had some pretty bad nightmares. Same one all the time.
When I came back to the States, the PTSD hit me pretty hard. I drank a lot. It cost me a couple marriages, a couple families, because they didn't understand what I was going through. And I got involved in a program at the VA. Everyone in that group was also a Vietnam veteran, including the counselor. We found that talking about our experiences really helped to ground us and ease some of the PTSD. I still have problems with it, but I have a wife now who understands, and I don't drink anymore and quit smoking, and generally that's the way I was changed.
Sometimes you say you're changed for the better, and other times, not so much for the better. You know, some tolerance levels were vastly depleted. Didn't like large groups, didn't like large amounts of noise, couldn't tolerate incompetence, had no patience. I've never found that even keel since I've been back. It's always going to be tilted because you can never erase the blackboard, so to speak. So for me personally, it's always been tilted.
I got back, I had crazy behavior, I had drinking problems, I carried a gun, and I mean, I had to fight my way back. The drinking was an issue, and I ended up going to 4 years of counseling. I had to learn to deal with that. But one thing with PTSD is you get this adrenaline rush when you're in the Vietnam as a LRP. It's an adrenaline rush all the time. When you come back and you're out, that's gone. And you try to create that adrenaline rush, not by always doing the right things. People with PTSD, you gotta have that passion for something. If you have that void, you're gonna replace it with bad things.
When I got out of the service, the first thing I did was bought a Harley chopper, and eventually started running around with a bunch of club bikers, and I was married, and my wife was just as crazy, and trying to see how much fun you could have. if it sounded like fun, we'd do it. And if it was fun, we'd do it twice, you know. And it didn't, whether it was legal or not, had no bearing on what we did.
Do you think you were chasing that adrenaline?
Yes, exactly. I miss the adrenaline rush a lot. And you could duplicate it to a point in the pack of 50 motorcycles going way over the speed limit, you know, and it helped. But it really wasn't the real answer for me.
We gave up a life that was pretty secure and pretty safe. We left our families, you know, and you know, thought we were going to die at 20 years old. You don't think you're going to die, you know. You spend all that time, and you know, there's a lot of guys that did die.
These guys, everybody here sacrificed, and some of them sacrificed everything they had. And in my mind, the ones that didn't come back that I know are forever young. Well, they're just forever young in my mind.
It's hard to explain to somebody that hasn't been through it. It really is, because if they haven't experienced it, they can't imagine it. So that you know, it changed all of us that went through it. I think for the better. And again, it ruined some people too. Some guys were lucky, some weren't.
I never left Vietnam. It's with you all the time. Sorry.